Hello friends, welcome back. We're just gonna do a little homestead vlog today. I am doing some baking and just cleaning around here. Matt is at work today and we had kind of a hail frost storm last night. So everything is like thawing, but the sun is out and shining. I wanted to show a couple things that I grabbed at Costco recently because they had all their spring stuff out. They had a lot of plants out and I have something that I'm really excited about. So let me show you. So I brought this in yesterday or last night. It has been sitting out. Matt has a hook on it because we're gonna hang it outside, but this is a giant strawberry plant in one of these hanging planters that has all of the little, it's a strawberry planter specifically. And I didn't think it would do well. It got down below 40 last night, and even some of these that were just there from yesterday in the rain are looking quite sad. I pulled like 6 or so good strawberries off this when I first got it, and I see there are still lots on here, but this was 20 bucks from Costco. So I'm very excited to have that. But it is turning out to be a gorgeous day. And it is kind of messy now. Like I said, we had a storm last night, but this outdoor mat was $7.99. Also, I just wanted to share some things that I do get at Costco. We're just a household of 2, and I just have one of these standard, this is actually an old Costco fridge freezer combo that my grandparents gave us. This was from like 1980 and it is still going because it's Costco. So these French bread pizzas are like one of the only like ready-made like snack kind of things that I like to buy. But I do like to buy meat in bulk and store it out here. So we have a tri-tip. This is a California thing, I think. But tri-tip is one of our favorite steaks to have. You can also see these are kind of pressurized because we go up in elevation quite a bit from where we buy this. But this is a 4-pack of the ground turkey. I usually get turkey or beef, but because beef is so expensive right now, I'm trying the ground turkey. These are 1.67 pounds per one of these, which is pretty good. And this was about $25. Honestly, I can get that cheaper probably at my Winco. It's the other place I do the majority of our shopping. What else? And then I also threw away the bag, but I do get the Atlantic farm-raised salmon. I have got the sockeye wild-caught salmon there. It's like $6 or $7 more, but honestly, sockeye salmon is the most wormy, parasite kind of infested salmon that you can buy. I'm okay buying farm-raised salmon, so we buy the bag of this as well. And then we also really like this big bag of vegetables. I can throw this in soups. I generally just roast these a lot. I steam them, eat them with salmon, eat it as a side with pasta, eat it as a side with steak, whatever it may be. So those are just some of my staples that I've bought recently. We've already gone through like half this bag. How could I forget? And the bacon. So I already cooked up 1 whole pack of this just to have in sandwiches, eat for a couple breakfasts, and then I just keep the rest out in the freezer. This was another find I got recently at Costco. This was a 2-pack for $12.99 of like a kind of Italian cured meats collection. This is prosciutto, coppa, and 2 kinds of salami. Thought that was a really great price for $12.99 for 2 of these. So let's go back inside. And I'm making some brioche buns today. Chicken patties like this is another convenience item, kind of processed food that I do like to keep in the house. So this was like 5 pounds of these chicken patties. I cook these up in the air fryer. I put them on salads. We make chicken sandwiches. Sometimes I toss them in like a hot honey. Sometimes I just do like a traditional chicken sandwich with mayo and lettuce. I will put them in wraps. But this is something that's an easy convenience food for us that we will go through, just the 2 of us, and is very convenient to have. I will also buy the double pack of the loaf of bread because making sandwich bread is one of the bread products that I have not mastered yet. I would love any tips or recommendations. All my sandwich bread comes out very dense, very crumbly. It doesn't have that sponge texture that like a store-bought sandwich bread has. So I would love any tips or your favorite recipe. Please let me know. I would love to stop buying grocery store sandwich bread. A case of sparkling water is also something that I always stock up at Costco, trying to cut down on our sugar soda intake. We still like them every once in a while, but these are good to have. So I've had this dough proofing for, I would say about 2 or 3 hours. It is a little colder today, so it took a little longer. So I have had this resting. You can even see, like, you can see the nice kind of gluten formations happening. I'm going to cut this and make these into our buns so they can go into their second rest. Do this on my, I should do this on my cooktop because it gets dirty anyway and it's a nice flat surface. It's also easier for me to film it. So I will link this recipe. I have made this recipe for brioche buns many, many times. I definitely would recommend it. It's a little bit of a lighter brioche. It's not as sweet and rich, kind of like a cross of a brioche and a hamburger bun. So I find them very versatile. I just need to check to see 8 pieces. Okay. And those make kind of small buns. They make basically a perfect size for like a frozen chicken patty like that. They're not gonna be huge. If you want these for like a big sandwich, like a big burger, I would do 6, but these are perfect for little chicken patty sandwiches. There's a mess behind me. I need to do the dishes and clean up behind me, but we'll deal with that after this. We're gonna do that when these rest. So I'm just going to flour this actually. Wearing a black hoodie was smart on my part. Ball. I'm gonna sneak behind you. And get my pastry cutter and my scale. My scale needs new batteries and I cannot for the life of me figure out how to change it. I cannot do it. So I don't attempt to get this perfect, but I do just like to have a general idea. That one was 415 grams, 443. So I just kind of do like a 430, 423. That's fine. You can already see some of the bubbles as well. This dough feels so nice. I actually probably shouldn't be doing this on my stove top. Now that I'm kind of thinking about it, these should be each about 120, maybe 115. Yeah, they're each about 110-ish. So I'm just gonna move those to the side and do this half. I'm like not really getting down, you know, onto my cooktop, so I think it should be fine, but it's not perfection that we are after here on these. So now I'm just going to take each one of these little individual ones and just kind of create a little ball with a seam on the bottom. I just like to pinch the bottom, little ball, and then for these you kind of want to make them into like a little patty. Press them down like that. And I like to do these on 2 separate sheets, and I'm going to use these that I also got from Costco. Line these each with parchment. I'm a little bit chaotic with my parchment, I'm not gonna lie. Like, nothing pisses me off more than that. Okay, and then we're just gonna do four of these on each. Little ball. me just give them a nice flatten. These are gonna proof a second time, so I do want to get them nice and flat. So this is what these look like now. And I just kind of keep pressing them down because they're already rising, which is great. We do have a fire going today in the house, so it's 70 degrees at the moment. So these will rise. They should rise nicely. Sometimes I have problems with that because I keep my house so cold. But I am going to cover these with damp cloth, dish rag, whatever, and let them puff up. Now it says cover and rest another 1 to 2 hours. So that's what we're gonna do. What I am gonna do is take them off of this. You guys like that? You like that? That's a past server right there. That's me in my serving days. One-handed trays. Leave these here. And I like to kind of stretch out my rag so it's not like putting pressure over them. Like I kind of like to tuck it under sometimes so that it's not just like all the weight isn't pressing down on the buns. Gives them like a little more. Okay, so we're just gonna let those be and I'll check back later. So now I need to tackle this mess. Just a lot of mess. Pulling out my food processor reminds me this is another Costco hack that I learned from Becky at Acre Homestead, who I love. My husband and I, we watch her channel all the time. So I bought the 3-pound bag of the peeled garlic and I food processed all of it and I cut off all the little ends. Last time I didn't, this time I did. I can't tell you if I think it's worth it. I really don't think that it is. But so you just lay them out flat in the gallon Ziplocs, and then I just use a chopstick to separate them out. And then I keep one in my inside freezer and put one outside. And now I have fresh pre-minced garlic. This lasted me months. I want to say at least 2 or 3 months. I go through a lot of this, but absolutely is a game changer for me. Highly, highly recommend. And I also did that with onions. I bought a big bag of sweet onions. I didn't need like 8 of them right away, but I processed, I would say 5 or 6. Threw those in a bag as well. I had to pulverize them a little more than I would have liked. So this is kind of more of like a paste, but that's okay. I don't mind. I actually prefer to not have like big chunks of onion in like soups and stuff and when I cook. So I just kept having to like pulverize it to get some of the bigger chunks out, and I should have just done less at a time. This is quite like pulverized to more of a paste. But for things like marinating meat, using in soups, pasta or pizza sauce and stuff like that, I think it will be fine. All right, it is a bit later. These are looking pretty good. I'm gonna show you them right now. We're gonna do an egg wash, just 1 egg and a little bit of water for the tops of these. And I'm also going to make just a batch of muffins. So this is another one where Matt requests these muffins. I have not found a homemade muffin recipe that has really gotten the texture, again, that these can get. These you just mix with milk and bake them. He likes to take these before work, so I make a double batch of these. You can get these for like $1.50. You can even get these at the Dollar Tree for $1.25, I think. So this is what our buns are looking like. I have preheated my oven to 400. I think these go to 425. Or no, these are 400 too. So I'll put these in after. So they both need 400 degrees. So you can see they're looking nice and puffy. I could realistically let these go a little longer, but I kind of just want to get these done and in the oven. So like I said, these are a little smaller than like a traditional bun like that you would get from a restaurant, but honestly these are pretty similar to like what you'd get at a McDonald's on like a McChicken. I personally am okay with that. I don't want to really wait any longer, but you could and continue to let them rise. But realistically, they're not going to get much like bigger. They'll just kind of get puffier. I'm okay with them being this size. I'm just going to use one of these silicone, I don't know what the hell these are called. Spatulas, whisks. It's not a spatula, it's not a whisk. I don't know. Pastry baster. Coating these. You can also put sesame seeds on these. I have done that. I think this time I'm gonna skip the sesame seeds. I try and be kind of gentle with this so that I'm not deflating these. If anything, I'm trying to kind of puff up the sides a little bit more. And I am going to let these just continue to rise uncovered now that they have this egg wash on them while the oven preheats. And then the leftover egg I will microwave and feed to my dog. So update on all of our seeds. In our last video, we sowed all of these seeds and we were just in, sorry if it's kind of echoey, this is our second bedroom that we have not used it yet since moving into this house. We want to put like a, you know, sleeper sofa in here or something for guests, but that's just not been something in the budget. It's not been a priority. So this is basically our plant room at the moment. I have like a plant stand with some house plants on it by the window. And this has been the seed starting area. Some of them are already too leggy, I can tell. They are already touching the tops of these domes down here, but almost everything has germinated. We are at 10 days out. So I'm gonna show you what has sprouted, how things are looking. I did take the dome off these, but then I had them back on because it was so cold yesterday and today. I wanted to give them a little more heat. But I think I'm gonna take them back off and I need to get a fan in here to kind of give them some airflow. And I have heard that that makes them stronger as well. Yeah, these peas are already huge. So these are the domes coming off. All right, so I'm gonna take you and show you. So this is how we're looking. Honestly, pretty good germination. Even the lavender that I have heard is hard to grow from seed has popped. We've got some more marigolds coming up in there. But like this guy was the first one. He's pretty leggy already. These sage were the ones that were like 5-year-old seeds that I was not convinced were gonna pop at all. And we have one little guy coming in, but most everything, I mean, this chamomile is like going off. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna be so honest, but look at these little oreganos. They are so precious. Parsley, I think, is the one thing that has not sprouted yet at all. Everything else is looking pretty good. Those cilantros went nuts. This is cilantro, these really tall ones. Those have kind of gone nuts. But yeah. And then down here, this is what we're looking at. These ones you can read better. You can actually see all the varieties that we did pick. You can see everything that we did. So I don't think I went through them specifically in that video. So we have cucumbers. These ones are, this one is a double. This one also has 2. I did plant multiple seeds per one of these. Moneymaker tomato, zucchini. Those took a while, and this one I can see him coming up as well. Squash just popped like a couple days ago. And then those are cherry tomatoes. Eggplant has not germinated at all. And the jalapeno, I don't see anything happening either. But these snap peas and these Alaska peas have gone pretty nuts. They're also growing another second set right there. And I actually see a little bit of mold right there on that one. So I'm gonna remove that and let these dry out without the dome today. I haven't noticed that on any others, but Matt insists on keeping the dome on, and I was like, I think they just need some airflow, and that is a reason. I was the one that said they needed some airflow. Matt wanted to keep the domes on these for way longer, and I think they just need to be off. So, got nothing here, which these were like what I'm looking forward to the most. So I might try another round of those. Oh, and then I also have some pole beans up here, and these both recently popped. So that's our current setup. I also like don't know, like I rotate these because they don't really fit here. These are the only 2 lights we have. People say like put them closer than this. I already did kind of prop them up with some books, but then other people say they singe them if they're too close. So that's what we're working with right now. Okay, so our oven is preheated. And the last thing, one more thing we're gonna do is add another, we're gonna add a tray in the oven with water to create some steam. I'm gonna put this on the very bottom, right? And instead of trying to like balance it, just set it in there and then just pour the water in. Okay, and then these are gonna go in. And those are gonna go in for 15 to 20 minutes on those. Ironically, allergic to chicken, eggs are just fine. Not sure what that's about. So my buns, the buns are just about done. So I'm just gonna mix up this batter, let it sit for a few minutes. Something I've heard people say is that if you let your muffin batter sit for just a few minutes and undermix it, like just barely bring it together, then let it sit, then pour it into your muffin cups and bake. I've heard that helps with like the rising, like getting that nice crown on your muffins. I don't really know if that helps, but I like to do it. So I actually don't have milk in my house. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Our milk went bad. So what I'm gonna just do is use some half and half. There's my timer. Hey Google, stop. I just find that I like to have half and half in the house because we're kind of like far-ish from a grocery store and I just don't use it that much. I don't know, I just find half and half works as like a heavy cream substitute sometimes. For like sauces and soups, I can use half and half, but then I can thin it out just a little bit for milk. So I find that it's just like the most versatile thing to have. And I just get this one from Costco for $3.50 for half a gallon. That's a really good price for half and half. So for this one, I just thin it out. So I do 3/4 cup of half and half, and then I fill the rest up with water. So these each take half a cup. So I'm gonna do a full cup. Well, let's not forget about my buns. Let's take those out if they're done. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, guys. Let's look perfect. I'm glad because we are showing you. So there they are. Whoa. 1 and 2. The key part though is getting this out. I don't need this. This is hot. If you have any tips on how to avoid this kind of spotting when you do an egg wash, let me know, because I have noticed that quite a bit. Like maybe I should only be using the yolk or the whites of the egg, maybe mixing it with milk instead of water. I don't know, but these look great. I'm gonna let those, I'm actually gonna get these onto a cooling rack right away, because you can see they kind of get, that's like as dark as I really want them on the bottom. We're just gonna let those cool really quick. Matt says these make him very nostalgic. His mom used to make these, so I like to make them for him, even though I would like to make them from scratch. Sometimes I do, but for him, in memory of his mom, I like to make him these. And like I said, you just want to barely bring it together. And I like to use like a rubber spatula like this instead of like a whisk, because I find that the blueberries can often get caught in there, and it'll look runny at first. It will kind of thicken as that hydrates itself. And honestly, I also just don't buy paper liners. I should. And sometimes I'll do butter and I'll like use that same, this thing. Sometimes I'll use this. Sometimes I'll just spray it and hope for the best. Today we're just gonna spray it. This is just the avocado oil spray. And just kind of get all in the sides and such. You can already see how it's thickened up. And I like to fill mine quite full. They say to fill muffin cups like 2/3 or like whatever full. I just find that they're not quite big enough, and I think you get a better crown, like puffy top, if you fill it. So I never get the full, oh god, and I'll fix that, don't worry. I'll get my spatula back. I'm telling you guys, I'm just lazy with this kind of stuff. Everything is fixable, you know? I feel like that's a life motto, and I'm gonna clean this after. It's like not that big of a deal. I am making a mess over there though, but you couldn't see that, so that's fine. Maybe I will, no, like I guess I will get 12 this time. We'll do 12. I don't know why that is. Usually I don't get a full 12. That one's looking a little low. That's probably why. Sometimes it doesn't work, but that avocado oil spray worked very well this time. Luckily. there we go. Hope that you all enjoyed hanging out with me today at home. Thank you so much for the love on our first video. I am itching to get out in the garden and get out there more. We are just waiting to get the fence done for the garden and for the danger of frost to kind of pass. But I'm very anxious to get out there. I have a lot of house projects as well that I would like to tackle this summer. I have some painting things to do. We have some bathroom fixes to make. We have tons of ideas for the backyard. So we'd love it if you'd come along with us. We're hoping to take the boat out on the lake this summer and do some fishing, do some just fun adventures, do some camping. So if any of that sounds fun to you, please subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.